Hi guys!
Now then.
Welcome back to Wild Free Fancy.
And we are back at a new location. Well, not new, but England!
We are back in England. We just thought that we'd pop on here with a brew and spill some tea about our Europe trip. So we thought we'd have a big, honest chat, didn't we?
Yeah, the highs, the lows, and all the in-between.
So we're going to answer some questions actually. So to start with, where was your favourite place that you visited?
Like Switzerland was a nice surprise. I never thought we were going to spend any time in Switzerland. I literally thought we were just going to drive through. But after we met Ed, the fella who was the groundskeeper, he gave us loads of awesome places to go, like a good itinerary. And I was sort of just put off by it because everyone said, oh, it's so expensive, it's so... Yeah, it is expensive, but the country's beautiful, and you don't have to be spending a lot when you're there to enjoy. I mean, a good hike to a waterfall was free, and it was probably one of the best hikes we've done the whole trip.
Yeah, and using Park for Night to find like places to park up and stuff, because I mean we did park in a car park one night and that was quite expensive.
Well, yeah, but it was a decent car park. It had toilets, it had everything you needed.
We parked at a hotel for free, so it's like swings and roundabouts. But yeah, I really liked Switzerland as well. But to be fair, every place we went was really good.
Yeah, France is amazing for if you're wanting to travel around in a van. Yeah, France is by far probably one of the best countries to do it in.
Yeah, like I can't actually say, like we've got a question here saying like where's the worst place that you've visited or a place that you wouldn't visit again, and it's really hard to actually think of one. Like I think the only place that we probably won't go to because it's pointless with us having like dogs and that is Isola Bella.
Can visit this house, but no dogs are allowed, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, so
it's like the little islands in between Lake Maggiore.
Yeah, so that was one of the things where we couldn't really do anything because we had a dog. And I mean, me personally, I've never really been a city boy. Not a fan of concrete jungles, and it comes in handy if you're not that big of a fan of a city because they're not really van friendly.
Oh, Italy, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're trying to get into the city centres or the town, it's real struggle in a bigger vehicle.
Yeah, we did struggle actually, didn't we, in Italy? There were so many times that I had to keep getting out of... I was pretty much out the van more than I was in because I kept having to get out to be like, this way, whoa, stop.
You'd follow the sat nav and it'd take you underneath a bridge that was only 1.5 meters high and would fit...
So many tiny bridges.
Yeah, it would literally just fit. You're lucky to fit a Fiat 500 underneath it. It was that small.
See where they all drive like mopeds and like Fiat 500s to be honest, like little minis and that. I think if you were travelling to Italy, obviously if you didn't have dogs, it'd be ideal to take like either a moped or something strapped to the back of your van.
Yeah, that would be good.
A couple bicycles, like a couple of e-bikes.
Yeah, if you do have a bike, it is probably awesome, handy bit of kit.
Yeah, it was a struggle. It was worth it though, and
definitely.
we did find some really nice places and the food and everything. I do love Italy.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop us going back in the future.
So, what problems, if we did have any, did we have on the road? We had quite a few problems actually, to be honest.
Where do I start?
Yeah.
Hi guys, I thought I'd jump on here and tell you some of the troubles we've been having since we've arrived in France. It's not all been rainbows and sunshines. We've had an issue with our electrics.
The electrics basically,
first night, wasn't it?
Yeah, so our electrics kept messing up, our fridge stopped working, and that was quite stressful because when you're somewhere hot, it's like you rely on having a fridge to keep all your food cool, so it's quite hard because we'd stock up our fridge and then it would just stop working, and then we were like all the food would be going off.
Yeah, so I think basically what happened was, because we managed to seek some professional help because we never fitted the electrical system ourselves, it was someone else who fitted it, and we found this Chris, I'll see if I can find a picture of his van and I'll put it up. But yeah, he basically helps motorhomes abroad, and he found out that the fuse had gone, attaching our leisure battery to our van battery, and the wiring up was wrong on the batteries, and we never had a battery charge to start off with, so all the times we were going up to campsites paying for electric thinking we're charging our leisure battery, it wasn't doing it.
Yeah, so it was like literally it just been bodged really. But the annoying thing was when we got the electrics installed, we paid full whack. It wasn't as if we paid a guy that that did it for cheap for us. We paid this guy hundreds and hundreds of pounds to do loads of work on our van for us, and we'd only ever done like small trips in the past, so we didn't realise that like a lot of it wasn't working to the best of its ability until we came on this big trip.
After speaking with Chris when we were in the Lador Valley, luckily enough he sort of walked us through what had happened.
Oh, Loire Valley.
Loire Valley, yeah. He basically walked us through what had happened and what was wrong, and he showed me exactly how he's wired it up and what we needed to get. So then we were able to sort it, so that was that. Yeah, problem solved.
Exactly, so it seemed like a really big problem at the time, but it ended up where it was fine. We got to go to the Loire Valley and see a little bit of that, which we were actually intending to do.
Yeah.
We also managed to get it fixed pretty quickly, so it was like, even though it was a bit rubbish, we were able to like work around it. And when we realised the fridge just still wouldn't work to its full potential, we just decided that, while we're in Italy, let's eat out loads. So we got loads of food out, but at the same time it was eating into our budget, literally eating into our budget.
Yeah, luckily enough it wasn't overly priced in Italy. Like we were finding decent meals, you know what I mean, awesome pizzas. And I mean, like, it wasn't breaking the bank to eat in Italy. I mean, it would have been a different story if we were having to eat out every night in France.
Yeah, definitely.
I think.
But I think another problem for me personally was that I've got a guest house back in my hometown, and I decided to put management into it. And literally, as soon as we landed into Calais, the cleaning company that I'd hired to do my rooms basically for me in my guest house while I was away, I had problems as soon as I landed in Calais, and it was like they just kept making like huge mistakes that were kind of detrimental to my business. And the worst of it all was that the owner was just really unprofessional and was even though they were all their mistakes, they just couldn't have it, and they were so rude in messages, and I had to like pull up all these like receipts as such to say, look, it's all in writing, it's your sort of mistakes. And then she decided, because I'd kind of proved that this was her fault, she was in the wrong, she spat a dummy out and refused to do them, which left me with like no cleaner and being like in the middle of like in France, like hundreds of miles away from my guest house, and having loads of bookings in and people arriving wanting rooms. And that was a really bad moment, because I also had one of the guests that was staying was like a loyal customer, so a returning customer, and they had a really horrible experience because of this. And when I was on the phone to them, just chatting to them about it, I was just in tears.
Yeah, you burst out into tears, and they were trying to comfort you.
I know. It's like my pride and joy, and I had to hand the phone to Adam to say, "You alright to kind of deal with this?" Because it is like I've built this business up over the years, and I have like a really good reputation now and loads of loyal customers. So it was just like to make this huge decision to then go travelling and leave it in the hands of someone else, and then to kind of like feel like it was getting destroyed in like a moment of me not being there. It was, that was like really hard. So I think when you're working on the road and stuff, like you've obviously still got work problems to deal with as well.
Yeah, you still got the issues back home, haven't you? Luckily enough, we managed to get it sorted.
Yeah.
Got a different cleaning company in, and all was well after that, really, wasn't it?
Literally, it couldn't have gone any better. The girl that's actually renting our house actually owns a cleaning company.
Yeah.
So I was able to get in touch with her, and she literally saved the day.
She did.
It was just I couldn't have been more thankful for like the way it panned out, considering, and even like the customers that had bad experiences. They were really nice as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
So, that was my probably biggest problem while I was on the road. Another problem that we had is finding the toilet. Literally, we only use our toilet just to do wheezing.
Yeah, because you don't want to be doing number twos when it's sat in your kitchen, you see. So.
No, so literally it's one of those, it's for like when you're camping up. So sometimes we'd stay places like wild camp spots and they would have toilets.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, the one in Italy did, and that was a brilliant one. Just on top of it was on top of a little mountain. It had a toilet right there.
Yeah, but then other times we wouldn't have a toilet, so we just stay. Because our favourite place probably to Wild Camp is like the start of a hike.
Yeah,
so like the car parks that you get like at the bottom of like a peak, we like those because they're really quiet, like quiet on a night out there, but then it's perfect because as soon as you get up, you can just go for a hike.
As long as you're an early bird, you know what I mean? It's no issues parking in places like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then problem is obviously a lot of the times they don't have facilities, so we'd literally be on the hunt, wouldn't we? Trying to find a toilet sometimes. And maps, oh my god, is so terrible in like Europe.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Maps and the Garmin sat nav that we were using, I don't know why it was so bad. I think for some reason it must have just been set to, I don't know what was wrong with it, but we struggled so much getting around.
And then in St Malo, I think it was so funny because we were literally on the hunt for a toilet. We typed toilets into the search bar on maps, and we walked
to people's
10
houses.
minutes, and we arrived at someone's house. And we were like, "Are we supposed to knock on?
Yeah, how does this work?
Does she rent her a toilet out? What's going on here?" We didn't, but yeah, that is like one of the big problems, I think. So when we get our next van, it's definitely going to be
we're going to have a bathroom in our next van. You know, it's going to have a shower room, so that's a bonus.
Where was your favourite wild camp spot? So we just kind of touched on that, didn't we?
Yeah, basically the bottom of a hike, you know what I mean? It's the start of an hike, a car park.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
We've just found ourselves another cute little spot, so that's our favourite. Woodlands is great as well. Like we found quite a few places which was like a woodland with a hike. That's always like our favourite. But we just used park for night, and we never had any problems wherever we are camped. Like I know other people have said that they've had problems from locals, but we haven't. I don't know if it's because we're lucky or whether it's just the places we choose, but we try to choose places that we know are kind of like in the middle of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
So the worst wild camp spot, I would have to say, was the Dunes of Palat because we parked. There's a car park at the Dunes of Palat, and this is honestly one of the best places that we visited. It was absolutely stunning.
You must go if you ever get the opportunity.
Definitely, and there's a really good restaurant that does really good pizza as well. But when we camped there was big signs saying that you could get fined for camping there. And we looked on Park for Night and it said, don't park there anymore because you will be fined. Because basically a few years ago, I think it was 2021, they had a car set on fire which caused a huge wildfire because it was like in the middle of summer and it was really hot. And it literally was totally burnt down, like the huge forest was burnt down and loads of buildings. So I think they don't want people to camp there because they don't want people to be setting like fire pits and things off. So there's all these signs. Anyway, it would have been an amazing place to camp.
There was loads of other people camping there.
Literally about
every space
30, 40 people.
So you think, alright, well if they're doing it, we shall. Yeah. And then every single noise in the night is waking you up and you're not having a great night's sleep.
Didn't sleep very well at all because I was just paranoid that there was going to be
a ticket.
A guy come like speaking French angrily saying, you know, you shouldn't be here.
And at crack of dawn we were up just because we wanted to.
I think everyone was.
Yeah.
Everyone looked tired.
No one had a good night's sleep where we were.
Yeah, so I think if you feel uncertain about sleeping somewhere, just don't, because you won't sleep well because you'll just be worried.
And if you are somewhere as awesome as the Dunes of Palat, make sure you don't put your camera into slow-mo.
Oh yeah, we did. That was probably another problem we had was we lost a lot of footage because of the slow-mo. We didn't realise.
Yeah, I did. Why is there a slow-mo button on that camera? Why?
We're newbies at this. It's fine.
I know, but still.
So the next question is best homestay / campsite or air? Would you say that homestay
with the pool and Brandy's little
boyfriend?
Oh, they played so cute together.
That was a really nice
place. It was
a
5-month-old Bernese mountain dog.
Yeah, it was so cute. Except when he was humping me.
Oh yeah, he loved to hump you. We're going to put a picture of that here. Yeah, or a video or something.
Yeah, that was awful. And also, I would say we did go to a campsite, but we didn't really film much. Near Salat, I think it was on the Dodongne River, close to there.
Yeah.
And that was really cool because it had a hydro pool.
It did have a hydro pool. It was very busy.
But this is it. We would have filmed, but it was really busy, full of people. And it's like if you go into it was a pool and a hydro pool. It's just a bit disrespectful, I find, going in and like filming people when everyone's like in the bathing suits. So we didn't really film anything, but that was a really good campsite.
That was a good because we arrived there early and we made the full
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We stayed there the entire time from check-in to check-out.
Yeah, from 12 to 12, I think it was.
We'd done a long hike the day before, so Brandy was just happy underneath the van staying cool because it was such a hot day.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Like, in France, they do have some really cool campsites.
Yeah.
So what was the worst homestay campsite or air? There was a few airs where you wouldn't really get much facilities, but to be fair, we mostly wild camped.
Yeah, if it was an air that didn't have much facilities, we sort of got into the realisation there's no point paying for crappy airs.
The worst one was probably the first one we stayed at. That was probably because we were just kind of finding our feet. We were a bit like, you know, like, ooh, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because we got to this air which was like part of not like a group, a cult of airs, but it was like...
We did stay at another one of them though, and it was good.
But yeah, so it just depends. But this one, it was like sort of like the caravan club or something. These airs are part of a club, and you have to pay for a card to join them.
Which we thought this would be really good. Yeah, this guy who was like the manager of this air kind of made us think that you needed this for all the airs in France. Which we literally went to in the time we were there, and I think so. You know, and this one didn't have any facilities.
Yeah, it had nothing. It had no toilets, no. It had waste disposable and fill up water, but there was no.
We decided that sometimes airs were far too expensive for what it was worth, for what you actually got. So we only really stayed places when we needed to boost up our electric, when we needed to get, empty our waste, fill our waste. But a lot of the times it was like we weren't just going to stay somewhere just because it was like a space. You know, we just thought, we're wild camping. Yeah,
well, that's it.
As long as you don't leave a trace, you're quiet, you're respectful, you're absolutely fine wild camping.
Yeah. You won't get any bother.
So, funniest moment. This definitely was in the Juicer Plat, was when you lost your slider.
So it wasn't funny for me. I was stressing home.
I wish that it would didn't take the sound off, because I was literally... Oh, do you know when your ribs are starting to hurt and you literally cannot breathe? It was like that. It's because we saw loads of people paragliding off of the dunes, so we thought, you must be able to hike up these.
Yeah, you must be able to get up them. I don't know how they got up them.
No.
How? Because I was just like running on the spot and I wasn't going anywhere.
It was so funny. And then he lost his slider and he had a proper meltdown. And I was trying not to laugh because I was...
I could hear you like sniggering underneath you, like behind the camera, just holding it in front of you, laughing.
It was funny.
I was there for a good 20 minutes, half an hour nearly, trying to find it.
Another time actually that was really funny was when we went for a hike in Chamonix, and for some reason
leave me alone.
There's a swarm of flies around him, and he was like, "Do I smell? Is it because I smell?"
It's like some out of the Lord of the Rings.
Just surrounded by mosquitoes.
Yeah, well, one, I was stinking because we'd been hiking for 5 hours, and two, do not wear a bright coloured t-shirt. They all thought I was like a fucking walking plant.
Honestly, it was so funny. But yeah, we've had just loads of fun times, really. Haven't we? We had such a good time.
It was a good crack,
So, what was your worst day? Mine was the day that owner of that cleaning company was really rude to me, and that was my worst day.
My worst day was probably the day that I was suffering really badly with hay fever because I'm allergic to grapes, and we were staying in a vineyard. You know what I mean? So it set off my allergies.
We just thought you can't eat grapes or drink wine.
It turns out if it's in the air around me and I'm surrounded by it, it kills me off.
Yeah.
So my nose was like a tap, and then I sneezed my new nose piercing out. That came flying out.
Yeah, we went to see an organic bee farm, and then and we had those white big outfits on, and Adam was just snotting and sneezing, wasn't he?
Oh God, she must have needed to burn that outfit after I was finished.
And then we went to the dunes of Palat, and you would just jump in the sea, didn't you? Because you were just hay fever was just that. Well, it's not hay fever; it's allergic reaction.
It's just allergies. If you're allergic to microparticles.
Yeah, poor Adam suffers so badly with allergies. What was your favourite food? Your best food meal you had? Definitely the top of on our last vlog when we went to that restaurant.
That Italian restaurant, that was good. That was really good.
Highly recommended.
I think
all the pizza that we had, actually apart from we had the best and worst meal probably in Italy, because the first place that we went to like an a la carte place.
Yeah, well it was in the Michelin star thing, and we thought
the worst food
it was. Well, we in the vlog that we did about the next morning we were like, oh yeah, it was lovely. But looking back, after we'd eaten at all these other places, we were like, no, that was the worst meal.
Yeah, we were like, this must be what it's meant to be, pizza in Italy, and it was just like so soft. There was no like crisp to it. It was just like wet and soggy.
Yeah, it was just a topping.
Too many toppings.
Too many topping. But then we went to this next place, which was like a husband and a wife.
Oh.
The wife was in the kitchen cooking. The husband was on tables. Didn't speak a word of English. All the customers were Italian. And it was just phenomenal pizza.
It was.
It was the best pizza.
And then we got a
I've ever had.
takeaway from like an Italian takeaway, didn't we? And that was really good.
Yeah,
Back to the hotel room.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was really good.
We had a lot of pizza there, and these.
Oh, and that sub, we got like an amazing Italian sub as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
The
That.
gelato.
Yeah, the ice cream was good. It was a chain that was on the mainland, but it was sensational ice cream.
The dark chocolate.
They did the vegan dark chocolate one. It was gorgeous.
Vegan pistachio.
They just did loads of that, and it was so creamy and such good ice cream.
Yeah.
But then you went to the other ones, which are like, you could probably say they were like commercially bought tubs or something, and they were just nowhere near as good as this sort of branded one.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So the food in Italy's awesome.
Yeah,
so
I think that
wins
awesome.
it. Yeah, that wins it.
Next question: did we ever fall out?
Yes.
I was going to say, obviously.
Yeah,
like, imagine being in a small space and when you're not happy with each other and then having to sit like this.
Staring at each other, the back of each other's heads. There was either a lot of silence time or just...
It was hard sometimes because on this trip as well, like, it probably looks like the weather was absolutely glorious the whole time we were there, but we had a lot of rainy days. So many rainy days. Like that, even that, like, locals, wherever we went, were like, oh, the weather's rubbish compared to what it should be like this time of year. So we had a lot of rainy days and a lot of time just sat in the van, just staring at each other. And the problem is that when you have loads of wet weather, you can go for a walk and that, but then you get absolutely soaked and you come back to the van and you're wet and then you have a fallout. The problem is in a small space, if you have a fallout and if you're like me, which is a bit of an empath, and you feel other people's emotions.
Just sat there both in a mood.
Yeah, you pick up off each other's sort of energy and then it just ends up
And we was using Starlink. Like, Starlink's a brilliant internet to use, but it consumes a lot of power.
Yeah.
And we were using our power bank to power it because our inverter wasn't powerful enough. Yeah. And we'd only get like a couple of hours of internet, so it wasn't like... You know what I mean? We were... Like, there wasn't much distraction, really.
Yeah, it's completely normal. And even when you are travelling... It doesn't mean that you're always going to be positive and a ray of sunshine. It's like you still have down days. You still have the same shit going on in your head.
Yeah.
So you've got to also make sure that you take time for your mental health, doing things that light you up and, you know, keeping you in a positive
I think
state.
we found as well, when we were staying somewhere for a longer period of time, we were able to like get past any issues and that. I think a lot of it is like we did do a lot of bouncing around, like not experiencing staying in one place for too long.
Yeah.
And I think that could have been contributing to a bit of the stress that, you know what I mean, I was feeling throughout it.
Yeah.
But I think, like you say, it was hard because we had such a small space. Once you spend so long somewhere, you feel like there's nothing more you can do.
Yeah.
You just want to get up and go somewhere else. Because you've done the walks, you've done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and also it's like you can't, when you're wild camping a lot, it's not like you can pitch up somewhere for a week.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of want to be on the move so that people aren't like, you know what I mean?
People aren't cottoning on
to you, just staying somewhere for free for a good few days. So we tended to like to have like good full days and then go find somewhere to stay, and we'd normally turn up to somewhere at like 6 at night, 7 at night, cook our tea, get a bucket wash.
Yeah, we've been washing in a bucket as well for the whole like 8 weeks of travelling.
Yeah, and then just kind of chill out and stuff. So, and then we'd move to the next place. So we did. That was one thing, which moves us on to our last question, actually, which is, what would we do differently if we were to do this trip again, knowing what we know now? And I think that would be one of the things, was to try and stay in places for longer.
Yeah.
Because when we went to Italy and we went to Lake Maggiore, we were able to stay in the same place, didn't we, for about 5 days?
Yeah.
And we stayed at a few different
spots, but we weren't travelling for long. Like, it was literally 20 minutes between these spots.
Yeah, and we had quite a bit of time, didn't we, to just kind of like
sit
and relax. And
yeah, but we had that time to like sort of wind down where we weren't getting that when we were bouncing from places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though we were like staying in different spots, just it taking 20 minutes to get from between them all was nothing. You know what I mean?
We stayed at my brother's for quite a while as well in Chamonix, and that was nice to just kind of chill for a while. So the two times that we actually did kind of stay somewhere, we tended to get more done.
Yeah.
Because obviously because we're both trained yoga teachers now, we're trying to like create content for YouTube, yoga videos, and we didn't do any.
No,
we did travelling.
No, we did one video on Simplin's Pass, and that is one place we said we'd go back there again and spend a week there.
Yeah,
because you could have.
If you're wanting to do this and to get into like creating content and stuff, it's kind of like organising your weeks, which is something that we weren't very organised with our trips. So it's like being organised and saying, right, I'm going to film content today, I'm going to edit content today, and rather than just being like, I'm travelling, which is kind of what we did do, but it's fine. Like, I have no regrets.
Oh, definitely not.
Because if I was to do it again, I'd maybe try to be a bit more organised, but I just enjoyed every second, so it's kind of like, but that would be what I'd do differently, is to be a bit more organised with our time. Another thing we'd do differently is, to start with, we were going down through all the toll roads, and it started costing us a lot of money. We then decided, this is costing us loads, let's stop going through all the toll roads. And a lot of the time, it's not actually that much, like, more time.
You weren't saving that much on time, really.
No.
I think like we were enjoying going the back roads.
Sometimes it would be like an extra 10 minutes to avoid a toll, and it would like save you so much money. So next time when we go into Europe, we're just going to try to avoid tolls majority of the time.
As much as we can.
And save money in that sense. I think that is pretty much all we would do differently, because I feel like the route that we took was really good. I feel like we obviously would have, if we could have, eaten more in the van, but that was only because we were having problems with the fridge.
Yeah, I think this trip was probably gone the best it could have gone. For us, first time like going travelling, actually getting involved into like trying to create content and make these vlogs and that. I think like we've done it once. We've come back, we've made a plan. We know what went right, what went wrong, and we're going to go and do it again. We're going to do it even better.
This is it. Like, the only thing that we thought when we came back was that for the amount of time we were away in our van, it was quite a smallish space, so we would just think that the only thing that we could do is get a bigger van.
Yes.
So,
and that's what we've done.
Watch this space, because we will be showing you our new van very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.